Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, introducing you to my Dark Souls video walkthrough. And doesn't that just piss you off that when people put those fucking messages bang next to the bonfire, and it's always some douchebag message, need humanity. Go find fucking humanity if you need it. Don't ask me for it, you peon. Ridiculous. Or those trolls that intentionally put messages in front of levers and stuff to try and mess you up. I don't understand why anybody does stuff like that. It just seems like it's so much effort to do something so dumb that you never actually see the results from. But this is the forest farming spot, and this path that I'm running is one of the optimal paths through it to get everybody on you in the easiest fashion that you can. And because I'm low level, my stamina is not very great for running, but it's enough to get me to this corner where you can stand and wait for everybody to kamikaze to their doom. You'll also notice that there's an invisible guy with a claymore who's got a knight helmet on. This guy here, he doesn't respawn, but when I play this game, I think there must be two of them, because when he dies on this original encounter and gives you 5,000 souls, you can go over to the right of this forest where Faris is, and there's another one of those guys. Don't know if it's the same guy and it's a glitch, or if there's just two of them, but there always seems to be a second one, so just bear that in mind. But the only problem with this farming method is this right now. The pathing of the enemies can be a pain in the ass, especially when Mr. fucking Magic Spammer stands there firing soul arrows for no reason. And you've got to kind of use yourself as human bait to get his AI to come over. But as you'll notice, as soon as you get the guy that stood around like an idiot, everyone else generally follows suit and comes flying off the edge. This guy can be a bit finicky because he's annoying, and he's got really bad eyesight too, because I don't know what he's doing. It's like, yo, I'm here bro, come for me. But now he's chasing, stand in the corner, and he generally rolls aggressively off the edge because he's real aggressive, this one. But apparently not today. And if you do this and you get lucky, or if you do this well, you can generally kill all of them in a minute. But if this happens, it does take slightly longer. So I start backstabbing, but you'll notice the enemies in this forest are a lot stronger than me, so fighting them like that takes much, much longer than letting them kill themselves. Which is what this guy's about to do. So, how long was that? Maybe 2 minutes. And I got nearly half the souls it took me the last 5 videos to acquire. That is a lot of souls for very little effort. And what you want to do now, as a new player who's inexperienced with the game, is you want to spend about an hour, or less, or more, depending on how much you want to get strong, just doing this technique, going back to the bonfire to refresh the enemies, luring them all to their doom. Do it for about an hour, then spend your souls on leveling your character up so that you get a little bit more vitality, a little bit more endurance, a little bit more strength or dexterity depending on where you're going, and it effectively will build a cushion underneath you so that your stats are just good enough to be on level with the next few parts of the game, so that nothing is too difficult. And this is completely up to you, but I don't advise to do it. You can actually over-level on this part. You could level up to 70 and you will walk through the rest of the game. So if you have no real interest in getting challenged, you can literally use this technique while you watch a couple of films, farm it for a couple of hours, and you will be stronger than the entire game. It's a personal choice if to do it or not, but it's available to you, and right now we are 6 videos into this guide and you already have one strategy on how to break the game. So what I'm doing here is I joined the Forest Hunter Covenant so that I could make this guy appear. He's Shiva's bodyguard, and if you move back onto the bridge you can shoot him with arrows to make him aggro, and it's a one-on-one fight. Things to bear in mind, he uses a katana, he uses pyromancies, and he also has the ninja flip ring, which is the Darkwood grain ring, and when you kill this guy, that is exactly what you're going to get. The best ring on the game. One of the most hated rings in PvP, but you cannot deny its power. It's ridiculously good, and I don't know why these NPCs randomly stand still and then dodge. It's almost as if they're trying to bait you into a parry, but they never parry. But as soon as you kill this guy, the Covenant you just joined, everyone's going to be real angry at you, so Shiva, who is the bodyguard of that guy, he's going to be real pissed, and those farming guys that you were running off the edge, all of those are going to be angry again. And Shiva's just to your left here. He's using a Marakumo and a really good armor set called the Eastern Armor. So you're now left with 3 decisions. 1, you can fight Shiva. It's going to be a pretty tough battle because he's much higher than you. 2, you can lure him off the edge, which can be quite difficult to do because he doesn't like following all that consistently. Or 3, you can go back to the bonfire and reset the enemies so that he stands over in the distance and you never have to aggro him again. And I think I'm going to fight him, because he's a cool character. His weapon is kind of unorthodox, so it's good practice against, you know, a semi-human opponent. It's also good parry practice against a powerful attack, although if you miss at this low level, he's going to punish you real good. Which is why I've opted to just fish for backstabs. And chain backstabs with the looks of it. Yeah, I'm not in for a fair fight with this guy whatsoever. But once he dies, you do get his shield and his sword and some humanity. So all in all, we get some souls, we get the best ring on the game, we get a pretty interesting large weapon and a shield. Not a bad couple of minutes as far as equipment goes. And then you can reset the bonfire, and you can farm to your heart's content. And there's probably going to be a transition here. So I've got 16,000 souls, and as you can tell, that is more than enough to level up a good 6 or 7 times. The question is, what am I going to put my points into? And I'm probably going to be boosting strength so I can use that new weapon. So a smart thing to do is, if you find a weapon you want to use, check its stats to see what you need. So for that I need 32 strength and 18 in dexterity, which means I have to level up my strength a whole bunch and my dexterity needs to go up a couple. And that is exactly what I'm going to do now, people. Off camera, I'm going to be leveling up my character so that I can carry that weapon. And it's probably going to put me to about level 40, level 30 maybe, something along those lines. So I'm going to be pretty strong, but because I'm impatient and because I'm lazy and I don't really do the farming all that often these days because I've done it so much in my time with this game, I'm going to go and take on the Moonlight Butterfly. And I'm currently in offline mode, so I know that I'm not in any risk of being invaded. That's why I can change into human form and I can summon Beatrice, who is an absolute destroyer of the Moonlight Butterfly. She's really powerful. These dudes laid on the floor are stone soldiers. They take the time getting up, but you can strike them just as they're about to stand tall. And I've found out that if you stand behind them when they're spawning, or when they're, you know, standing up to get ready to fight, 2 out of 3 chances they're going to try and hit you with the Tranquil Walk of Peace. And if they do, you will kill them before they get a chance to commit to the summon. To the spell, sorry. I'm losing my words here, guys. I'm sorry. And very rarely will they try and turn around and attack you, but when they do, they're really easy to dodge. And if you're two-handing the Drake Sword, you can deal with them very quickly. And in this area, there is actually an armor set that's really good that's just to my right, but it's actually a trap. So what I would advise you do is, once you've finished this area, killed the butterfly, come back down, grab the armor and run away. Because fighting everything at such a low level can be quite challenging and it's very easy to get killed. But in this bush, if you're in human form, will be the summon sign. There is the witch Beatrice. And the cool thing about this girl is the only time you can usually hurt the Moonlight Butterfly is when it lands. Because if you don't have any spells or ranged weapons like a bow, you can't really do that much damage to it. This lady can. This lady's going to be using soul masses, she's going to be using soul arrows and all sorts of stuff. And she does a lot of damage too, which is really helpful. But move through the fog, there's the Moonlight Butterfly, he comes down from the tower. And you'll notice I've changed to the Crest Shield because it gives me 90 protection against magic, which is the best magic shield on the game. And a lot of its attacks you can evade. The hardest one to evade is the really fast bunch of spikes one, because there doesn't seem to be any way to evade it other than luck. Like, that homing one there, it's just like Mass Effect 3, where the Reaper's aiming at you. All you have to do is lead it into one direction and then roll the other direction. It's that simple. But the quickfire arrow thing, like right there, I dodged it without even trying, but if I was in a different position, it wouldn't have been the same. And the Moonlight Butterfly is now landing. It's already got half its life taken away thanks to Beatrice, and I don't have enough stamina to wail on it too much, but it doesn't matter because she's going to smash it, and so am I, so... Very simple boss when there's two of you. Very simple when you're on your own, in fact. But you just need to perhaps have more endurance than I do, or to have some backup spells to hit it when you run out of stamina. But there's your 10,000 souls, a nice hefty boost. And if you go to the top of this tower, you're going to get the basement tower key, or basement watchtower key, and the divine ember, I believe. So there's your ember. If you ever see these statues of Andre hunched over like that, or hunched over, sorry, that means it's an ember to give to a blacksmith, and that will enable you to upgrade weapons to a specific element or attribute. And now that we're done, we can homeward bone out, and that's the end of the video, guys. So thanks for watching, and you take care now.